So it's an interesting story, and I won't get into it too much, but just to tell you that I got involved with this case many years ago. I was on a boat, a small boat, on the Seine in Paris at night, and I was teaching a class on criminal profiling to law enforcement, and two men got on the boat wearing dark suits, and they said, "We're looking for you, Doctor. We have this death mask we'd like you to look at. Would you be interested in being involved in the case?"
Wow.
Or a jury head. I think so.
Yeah.
And that started that ball rolling, and now we have this, and it's been in the news, and it's been kind of fun.
Oh wow.
And I'm not I'm not a facial artist,
Mm-hmm.
but I have connections, so I got someone who was certified in that area,
Yeah.
and we actually did a computerized examination of the facial of this mask.
Oh wow.
Yeah, in New York. It was so much fun. I just loved it. So I got to be the spokesperson on TV about it. But they sent me these photographs initially because I liked them so much. So I put them in this lovely frame. And
Mm-hmm.
one of these, I put a little silver plate on it. Yeah, I mean, wow, that's a real death
Mhm.
mask.
That's really
Yeah.
neat.
It's currently in a vault in Switzerland.
Oh wow.
Oh.
You know?
That's pretty awesome.
Were you scared when they were trying to hop on the boat and looking
No,
for
no,
you?
no, hard. I love that stuff. I love the drama.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Hardly. I want more. Bring it on. You know? So no, it's a lot of fun. Yeah. All right. So did I answer your question?
Yeah, both.
Okay.
She has two.
Okay. So, what do you think is the psychological reason behind why offenders bite their victims?
Oh, I love this. This is a great question. Why do they bite their victims?
Yeah. Like
Some offenders do, like Ted Bundy,
Mm-hmm.
bit his victims. Not all of them, but he bit some of them. Even the ones in the Kalamega house,
Mm-hmm.
he bit some of them. In fact, that's how they convicted him.
Mm-hmm.
You were aware of that?
Mhm.
Yeah. A full set of denture marks, dental marks in
Yeah.
the victim. So, well, and this is a little bit graphic, but some of these offenders are true necrophiles,
Mm-hmm.
and some are sort of pseudo necrophiles.
What is a necrophile?
A necrophile is a person who likes to have sex with corpses
Oh.
or parts or body parts.
Uh-huh.
So, like Jeffrey Dahmer
Mm-hmm.
became over time a true necrophile. He wasn't always a true necrophile. He started off, he wanted relationships with men, and then he wanted relationships that he wasn't comfortable with that because they weren't comfortable with him. So then he started killing them. So he got sex with the corpses. And like Ted Bundy, he wasn't a true necrophile. Bundy would have sex with adult women,
Mm-hmm.
but he also would experiment sometimes with the body, not always, but sometimes with the bodies. So he was a pseudo necrophile. So biting the victims was very sadistic, and it sexually aroused him. He was inflicting harm on these people, either before or during or after death. And so he would do that, but sometimes. So it is very sexually arousing for some people who are true necrophiles. It is. It's also very sadistic if the person's alive and you're biting them, and that gives the offender, the predator, pleasure as well. So it's nasty stuff, and I've known several cases where we've seen that happen.
No.
Yeah. Most serial killers don't do that, but the ones who are true sexual predators who get into that kind of sadism, it's bizarre stuff. There was a movie called Manhunter. They redid it and called it The Red Dragon. What Hannibal Lecter, I think, was in it or something. But the original one called Manhunter, kind of B actors in it. The killer in that movie, he had a set of teeth he put in, and he'd go out and he would tear off the faces of some of his victims and things like that. Yeah, and he put on these fake teeth, kind of like, like Washington had fake teeth. And so he put them, he put them on, and he was vicious, just vicious. And Dollar, the guy who played that role, the Dollar role, he was a very good, creepy-looking guy, but I thought he was excellent in it. Yeah. I've only seen him a couple other times, but he's a B flick actor.
Okay.
Good job.
Check
It's
out
called.
that movie.
Check Or Manhunter. Yeah.
Okay.
You can go on Netflix and get it. I mean, it's been out for many, many years.
Oh, okay.
Then my last question is, out of men, women, and children, who would you say is the most victimized by being bitten by their attackers?
Oh. Women
Sounds like-
would be the most
So I
likely
was
to.
thinking women.
Yeah, women are far more likely. I mean, women don't usually attack men with their teeth. I mean, maybe to defend themselves. Women attack each other sometimes in cat fights and so
Yeah.
on. But in terms of being sadistic and being sexualized by it, it would be men attacking women. That's more likely to see that. Could happen the other way around. It could. Unlikely that it would happen too often. I think you wonder sometimes if necrophilia would then lead to cannibalism,
Yeah.
where they would actually then start and did for Dahmer. He went from biting the victims and then eviscerating them. He starts eating them, and then he did that to 17 victims. I mean, that guy over in what's his name, Chikatilo, over in Russia, killed 58 people, 58 teenager kids. And he would look over down a train station, and he would lure them, and he'd take them off in the woods, and he would attack them. But in the beginning, he would attack them, and he started stabbing out their eyes so they wouldn't look at him. But they were still alive, still conscious, but he didn't want them to see him attacking them.
Yeah.
Sweet.
He had very low self-esteem.
You take out the eyes first?
He had stabbed them with something in their eyes. So
Oh
they
my
couldn't see.
God.
Because the first victim bothered him because she was looking at him. So then he covered her face with a scarf. And the next victim, he stabbed her eyes out.
Oh my
But
God.
she was all awake. Yeah. But over time, he started cutting them open and taking out their intestines and things. And then he take out the uterus of a victim, of a 12-year-old girl, and he'd be on his way home to see his family and be eating the uterus. Yeah. Oh, he was a monster. Oh, Lord, he was a monster. He was one of the worst of the worst. Andre Chikatilo, killed 58 documented cases, and he was married, had kids. He'd seen his own brother being cannibalized during the famine. When there was the big purge was going on in Russia, and a lot of people were starving to death, and people were starving, and they attacked his brother and killed him and ate him.
Oh.
And so he was a child at the time, so he saw this. So as he grew up, I mean, he was deeply traumatized by this. It's amazing what we see as children, how it affects us as adults. So that's what happened.
Isn't it just kind of like the Ted Bundy, wasn't his brother murdered, if I remember correctly?
Well, Bundy
Or
was born out of wedlock,
Okay.
and I don't recall if
There was something of a Bundy. There's like a brother, and then one of the brothers grew up and actually murdered.
he may have. Yeah, I don't recall
Someone.
about that, but there's usually some kind of connection that gets people started and carries it on. So Bundy is with all the others in hell somewhere. We can only hope.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
like to be forgiving, but no, those guys stay away.
Yeah.
So
But sadly, there's more like them, right?
Yeah.
there's always more. Right now, we don't see those Ted Bundys right now. Where they're kind of, and the reason we don't see it is because we have really good forensics, and of course, CSI has been out for such a long time now that everybody wants to sit on their couch and watch these movies and kind of solve the cases. And so these guys that once were true predators, it's harder for them because they get caught earlier on because we have DNA now. Before we didn't. And so the DNA really helps us track these guys down because if they're in the data bank, like I was talking to a friend of mine, his name is Ivar, and he trains all the police for Norway. And he said, we have 5 million people in Norway. That's it. So and everybody's in the database. So if you commit a crime, we know who you are immediately. Yeah. So we know if you don't go to work. Everybody has to work. He said, but we all live very well here. And they do. They live really well. He said, come live here. You'll like it. Man, it's pretty cold. I did the cold in Canada. I'm not going to come back to Norway. But I'll come and visit. So anyway, so yeah, once everybody gets in the database, it'll be a lot easier to catch anybody. So what do you think? So what are you majoring in?
Or dental.
Oh, you are dental. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the uniforms.
Yeah.
So what, you have dental assistants?
We're going towards that. It was an REA program to be a registered dental assistant for the state. So, yeah, that's what we're basically going for. But there's so many other specialties in dentistry, like odontology. for forensics.
Have you ever considered going on to become a dentist?
I have. I wanted to be a dentist, so we'll see.
I just don't get that. So a good friend of mine, he's my dentist, been for 25 years. And he works in these very small, confined spaces of people's teeth all the time. They have a high suicide rate, they get into drugs a lot, they get into all kinds of weird things, you know.
Dentists?
Dentists. Not the, I've got some great forensic cases with dentists. Not female dentists.
Yeah.
They're
That's
pretty,
the
they're,
males.
yeah, males are the ones more like,